It's so hot today. Cheers, guys. Ooh, that's good. Okay. Welcome back to another weekly energetic check-in, you guys. I've been running around all day. I'm overheated. Doesn't matter. We're getting this done because I like doing these. I was thinking about it earlier today and I was like, you know what? I actually really enjoy this particular series. Like, I really enjoy breaking the energy down for you guys. Of course, as always, we're going to start with the astrological transits, and then we're going to go into the channeled intuitive messages for the week, and then we will end with either herbal recommendations or a recommended working to take on this week. Obviously, all of the recommendations are optional and suggestive. Not saying that you have to do any of those things, but the information is there for you if you choose to use it. So this week's energetic check-in is covering the week of April 25th to May 1st. First of all, I think it's important to acknowledge that we are approaching eclipse season. If you are at all familiar with astrology, then you know that summer is the bulk, if not all, of eclipse season. So eclipses are very, very hard-hitting, heavy, major energies. Eclipse energy is energy that is so strong that it lasts anywhere from 6 months to a year following that particular eclipse. So very hard-hitting energy. We are approaching eclipse season this summer. It's going to be intense, but if you know how to work with the energies and if you know how to use them, then you will navigate through them just fine. You'll be fine. Because right now we are in the realm of pre-eclipse season. There is a sort of heightened sense of expectation that we are all feeling as a collective right now. I think there is this sort of energy of anticipation in the air, this electric, very high energy type of feeling. So you can expect in the upcoming weeks that there will be a general air of positivity. Not to say that the next few weeks are going to be totally flawless and perfect, but there will be a general overall sense of positive energy as we gear up to move into eclipse season. Eclipse energy, for the most part, is known to be very wonky and anxiety-ridden. However, we have a solar eclipse coming this Saturday in the sign of Taurus. The general energy of this solar eclipse is going to be very upbeat and productive. That's going to be the tone that this solar eclipse is setting. So this week is a week to put things into motion and move out of stagnation. And that is you can use this eclipse energy to target any area of your life. However, because the solar eclipse this week is taking place in the sign of Taurus, I would look over your natal chart and just see what area of your chart Taurus is ruling, and see what special energy you can direct toward that particular area. So if Taurus is ruling the 4th house of home in your natal chart, you can use the solar eclipse energy this Saturday to focus on energies regarding the home, energies regarding your family, energies regarding foundational things. If Taurus is ruling the 10th house of your natal chart, you can use this solar eclipse energy to direct some special attention and energy towards your career, your public image, how people perceive you. And so take a look at your natal chart this week, you guys, and figure out where exactly Taurus is ruling in your chart, and send some special energy and some energetic flow towards that particular area of your life using the solar eclipse energy on Saturday. Monday, we have the moon's conjunction of Mars, which is also going to be sextiling the sun. So again, this is giving us a boost, a push, and encouraging us and enforcing us to move out of stagnation. There can feel as though there is an energy of urgency this week in terms of getting things done, getting things achieved and accomplished. Remember to pace yourself, but the moon's conjunction of Mars sextiling the sun is definitely a a great energy to utilize if you are wanting to put some positive force and push behind a certain or particular area of your life. Wednesday, we have quite a cocktail of energies going on that are going to be boosting creativity and giving us a tsunami of inspiration. We have the conjunction of the moon, Venus, and Neptune. Not to mention, also on Wednesday, the moon and Jupiter will be meeting up and sextiling with Mercury and Pluto. So powerful, intense energy going on Wednesday alone. This week, we're gonna see a myriad of different energies all over the spectrum. But again, they are positive, pushing, encouraging energies that are meant to get us going in the right direction and aid us in terms of having the energy necessary to get those things done. Moving into Thursday, Mercury will be trining Pluto in the sign of both Taurus and Capricorn. This is going to be a perfect time to start visualizing solutions that can be put to practical use. Understand that Taurus is all about practicality, as is Capricorn. Both of these signs are earth signs, and so practicality, routine, stability, sustainability, longevity fall into the realm of Taurus and Capricorn. Obviously, the major aspect going on this week is going to be the solar eclipse taking place on Saturday. This particular eclipse is going to be sextiling Mars, and it will also have a sort of loose conjunction to Uranus as well. On Saturday, there aren't going to be any particularly challenging aspects, but you may feel a certain level of intensity coming from the solar eclipse itself. Understand that on Saturday, when you are dealing with the solar eclipse, this is going to be any seeds that are sown on this particular day or in the midst of this particular solar eclipse energy are seeds that are going to bring about change and may even come to surprise you as they grow and continue to develop over time throughout the rest of the year and maybe into 2023. So at this particular time, you guys, don't be afraid to let go of some of the reins, let go of some of the control around the solar eclipse, and let the universe do some of the heavy lifting for you. At the same time, don't be afraid to embark on any new paths that open up to you at this time. Saturday and Sunday, we have a conjunction between Venus and Jupiter. So Saturday and Sunday, you'll be filled with compassion, lots of lighthearted, compassionate feelings of love and joy, abundance, fulfillment. So just let the energy of the solar eclipse from Saturday roll into Sunday and beyond. On Saturday and Sunday, you kind of just want to roll around in this beautiful, lighthearted, intense, but also very transformative energy. So any serious activities or chores or errands that you are planning to do over the weekend, kind of put those to the side, you know, put them off for another time and just allow yourself to enjoy the energy that's being presented to you through the weekend. This is an energy that wants to infuse a lot of joy and ecstasy and bliss into our daily life. And so let's take a pause this weekend to stop and smell the roses. Let's take a pause this weekend to enjoy and to really wrap ourselves in this energy, take it into ourselves and almost embody this ecstatic pleasure, this ecstatic bliss this weekend, and put the more serious, more adulting things to the side, at least for the weekend, and just allow yourself to enjoy. With that being said, you guys, that is it for the astrological transits this week. I will see you in the next part for the intuitive channeled messages. Hey guys, welcome to the channeled and intuitive messages. Again, this is for the week of April 25th through May 1st. And I'm excited about this week's intuitive messages because I'm going to be pulling from my beloved Primordial Tarot. And if you know me, you know that like this is the deck. Like this is the deck that I pull from when I'm doing readings for myself and I want to get to the spiritual root of a situation, a problem, or whatever, this is it for me. And so I really, really love this deck. The format of this deck is very different from a traditional tarot deck. I am excited to see what messages come through for the collective this week. This is the first card that we have pulled out, and I will go through the proper names of these cards after they've all been pulled. However, because it is a green card, this is a Suit of Nature card. Next, we have a Major Arcana, card number 8. Another Suit of Nature card has come forward. Next, we have a Suit of Jewels, which is represented by the yellow. Lastly, we have a Suit of the Soul card that has stepped forward. The green cards represent the Suit of Nature, and this loosely in the traditional tarot would relate to a Wands card. So 2 Suit of Nature cards here. We have a Major Arcana. We have a Suit of Jewels here, which roughly translates to a Pentacles card in traditional tarot. And then we have a Suit of the Soul, which would translate to Cups cards in traditional tarot. Our first card here, we have the Stone of Nature. So again, like I said before, this is this is 5. And in this particular deck, the name of this card is the Stone of Nature. Moving on to the Major Arcana here, this is the Abundance card. Moving on from that, back to yet another Suit of Nature card. This particular card is the Man of Nature. Moving on to our Jewels card, which is 7. This particular card is called the Era of Jewels. And then lastly, with our Suit of the Soul card, which is showing as number 8, this is the Spirit of the Soul. All right, so going back to the Stone of Nature, which is showing up here as our first card. As you can see in this particular image, the gorilla is balancing a stone on his head. So keyword in this particular card is balance. Having a balanced approach, thinking things through, being aware of any sudden consequences that can come from our actions. Obviously, if this gorilla were to move in any sudden way and this stone were to fall from his head, he could get hurt. It could fall, the stone could fall on his foot. It could injure him in some sort of way. So this particular card is about having a balanced approach, thinking things through, and being aware of our consequences. I do feel as though this Stone of Nature obviously could reference many other things, but primarily I feel that this is referencing the energy of eclipse season, the energy of the eclipse, the solar eclipse that we will be looking at on Saturday. And while we absolutely can benefit from, this solar eclipse / new moon in Taurus, and we can use that energy to hoist ourselves and boost ourselves to a different level, a more beneficial level, catapult ourselves into a new energy. There is a sense of needing to also be very discerning, be treading lightly, having a healthy sense of discipline with this energy, not using it frivolously, not being too rapid in our movements and our actions. having a balanced approach to this solar eclipse, having a balanced approach to eclipse season in general. Moving on to the next card here, we have the card of abundance. So this particular energy, again, represents balance, a sense of fairness, everything kind of coming together and being in its own place, a sense of prosperity. This card is also reminding us of where true nourishment comes from. And as many of you know, Earth Day, Friday or Saturday, Earth Day just passed. And so I love that this abundance card has stepped forward, because it is reminding us to acknowledge where true sustenance and nurturing comes from, which is in fact the earth. It is reminding us of where our resources come from, which is the earth. However, I feel the flip side of this, the flip side of the coin with this particular card is also letting us know that the earth can give and the earth can take away. You know, Mother Nature can be the most nurturing, most giving, most providing of sources, but it can also put us in situations of drought. It can also put us in situations of uncomfortability, depending on how we have treated her, depending on how we tend or do not tend to her. And so again, this is a card of cultivating and maintaining balance. Also remembering that we are extensions of her. We are extensions of Mother Gaia, of the earth, needing to also, you know, take care of ourselves in the best way possible. Pause for a second to pull some oracle cards here. Over the Stone of Nature, I have pulled the card of wounds. So some of us are dealing with particularly heavy circumstances or heavy situations right now. For some of us, these are things from the past that we have not quite settled, either internally or externally. Next card I pulled out is the card of Wish. Over the top of abundance. So in this sense, some of us are looking to the energy of abundance, and it feels like just this distant reality that we can't seem to grasp hold of, that we can't seem to pull toward ourselves. And maybe that's because we're still trying to cultivate a sense of balance after a period of hardship, after something traumatic. The word that just came in is PTSD. Moving on to the Man of Nature, card number 14. Man of Nature is all about being of service to others and allowing others to help you. So Man of Nature is all about finding a sense of community, finding a literal tribe, a literal community, and planting your feet firmly, allowing yourself to be of service, allowing others to be of service to you, allowing yourself to receive help from those around you. Man of Nature is about being a blessing to others so that others can be a blessing to you. This is also an energy of needing to feel protected. Some of us are feeling a little too vulnerable, a little too open, a little too exposed energetically or otherwise. So the particular card I just pulled out to go on top of Man of Nature is the card of Envy. So there is a sense in this card, in this particular energy, of feeling left out, of feeling a sense of lack, feeling that, again, something is out of reach, something is not connecting, something is being given to others, but for some reason is not being given to me. There is this energy of almost feeling forgotten. In many situations, in many circumstances, when we find ourselves in those particular energies, which we are all capable of, we're all guilty of feeling jealousy or envy at some point of our lives. The guidance here is to look to community, look to being of service. And envy and jealousy is not a type of energy that you can get away from or get out of by just sitting idle. You have to be, it's best to be actively doing something or putting your energy somewhere that is productive. Again, being of service somewhere, allowing someone to help or serve you in some sort of way. And so if you are finding maybe that a lot of people around you are in this sort of abundant energy that you can't seem to grasp hold of yourself, and you're feeling a little bit of envy and jealousy from that, try to take a step back this week to see how you can be of service and help others, or have others help you. And maybe perhaps if you're doing some sort of money or abundance working this week, as mentioned in the video, you can use the particular herbs that were mentioned to increase your abundance and success, and to see a turn or a change of energy in your own circumstances. Let's go ahead and move on to this era of jewels here. So era of jewels is all about traditions or practices from the past. This energy is about balancing the past and the present. So again, some of us are back here with this Stone of Nature and the Wounds card, where we are, you know, kind of struggling, or it feels like we're moving at a much slower pace in terms of healing and recuperating from something in our past, something that has wounded us, something that has brought us trauma, something that has put us in a place of emotional imbalance. And so the era of jewels is all about balancing. Again, that seems to be the theme this week, is balancing that past with the present. And again, when you're in the thick of it, it can be hard to pull yourself, pull your energy, pull your attention away from that traumatic thing that happened that kind of got you into this energetic place. And so I absolutely don't discredit that at all. It can certainly be very difficult and almost seem impossible. However, that's why you have community around you to help you kind of carry the load. And so it is sort of like a primitive, primal way of thinking. If you think about communities or tribes or villages in the past, one person's burden in the community was everyone else's burden. And that's how things were dealt with. It was dealt with as a community. It was dealt with together as a people. And so, interestingly enough, Primordial Tarot, this particular deck is kind of inching you in that direction of like, find your people, find your tribe, find the people that are going to help you carry whatever this burden is, and not just carry it and allow you to fester in it even longer, but people that are going to encourage this abundance out of you. They're going to help you turn the leaf over. They're going to help you start a new chapter. So, Era of Jewels is getting into things of the past, getting into practices or traditions of the past. And Specifically, these are traditions and practices that facilitate healing. These are practices and traditions that allow us to feel connected to more than just ourselves. This is an ancestral practice. So if your grandmother was a woman who liked to play hymns while making breakfast on Sunday, maybe that's something that you need to do. Get up on a particular Sunday morning, put on some church music, put on the hymns that your grandmother loved, and cook breakfast. And, you know, this is a practice, is not to say that it's something that you have to, you know, take on and do for the rest of your life, but something that is healing, something that is connecting you to that past, something that is connecting you to having a sense of connection and community and support outside of yourself. You know, when we're in the thick of a particularly unfavorable situation, it can be very all-consuming. It consumes our emotions, it consumes our thoughts, it consumes us physically. And it can be very hard to get ourselves out of that. It can be very hard to break that thought pattern, to notice the good things that are happening in our lives, or notice the things that are still going well. And so this is definitely an active type of energy. Like, you have to actively engage with this particular practice, whatever it is, and probably do it more than once to see that result. But there is sort of like a calling to, again, traditions and practices of the past that are going to help uplift you, help heal you, and bring you out of these energies. So, over top of the Era of Jewels, I have pulled the card of procrastination. Yeah, I mean, some of us are really going through it. We are aware of the box of tools that we have in order to create healthy practices for ourselves, but sometimes, you know, we get tired of the toolbox. We get tired of, oh, well, maybe I should go meditate. Maybe I should, you know, take a walk in nature. Maybe I should, you know, sometimes those things get tiring. Those things feel old, or they feel like they're no longer working. And so sometimes we do fall in, like, we know what we need to do. We know the things that may help us, that may help the energy, that may help the situation. But there is this sort of procrastination that creeps in. There is this sort of energy of, like, yeah, like, I know that that's there for me to do, but is it really gonna work? Is it really gonna make a difference? Like, I just feel so low, or I just feel so disinterested in breaking out the toolbox and doing all the things. And so some of us know what we have needed to do, but we've been putting it off. You may find with the astrological energies that we're dealing with this week, you may find yourself in more heightened energy and heightened spirits to do those things and put work and energy into those things that you know you need to do. So don't beat yourself up. Don't sweat it if it's been a little slow moving, if you've been kind of dragging your feet and procrastinating a little bit. But when you are ready to put that energy and put that force behind getting yourself out of whatever particular funk you're in, let it be a practice, or plugging into a practice or a tradition that feels very enriching. Something that, again, connects the past to the present. To me, this just feels very ancestral. This is an energy of doubt. This is an energy of having a loss of faith. This is an energy of trying things that you feel no longer work, which for some of us is why we are procrastinating, or why we feel very disheartened, or we feel disinterested in moving forward with the practices that have seemed to help us in the past. So, spirit of the soul, some of us are just tired. Like, really, some of us are just tired. We're tired of all the hoopla. We're tired of all the runaround, all the this and the that. Like, we're just tired. And it's like some of us are doing the practices and we're doing the things, but it feels empty. It feels, it's not giving what it once gave. It's not giving what it once gave. And we don't know where to turn. We don't know what else to do. We don't know what else to pick up to replace those things that are no longer fulfilling us. And that is something that is worth acknowledging. That is something that deserves acknowledgement, is that sometimes the tools that we put into our toolbox of how to help ourselves emotionally, how to keep ourselves mentally and emotionally fit in a good space, sometimes those tools get a little rusty. Sometimes those tools sit in our toolbox for a while and they just don't call out to us anymore. And we can pick them up occasionally and try to do them, try to see if the energy is still there, but sometimes it's not. So the card I just pulled to go over top of Spirit of the Soul is the card of Indulgence. So yeah, some of us are digging in the toolbox and we're trying to do all the things. We are indulging quite a bit. In addition to Indulgence, I also just pulled the card of Alone. So some of us need to just, instead of trying to go repeatedly into this toolbox of what can I do to fix this right now? What can I do to heal? What can I do to make myself feel better? Okay, I need to meditate. I need to burn a candle. I need to do this and do that. Some of us just need to strip all the way down to the bare bones of the practice, which is just us sitting with yourself. That's it. Which I know a lot of people will freak out about because many of us are used to the things, the external physical things, right? The candles, the sage, the tools, the crystals, this, the that. This is why my channel, this is why I speak so much about sovereignty, is because sovereignty is all about the practice of self, oneness with self. And if it came down to it, being comfortable with this task of needing to face ourselves and be only with ourselves. So some of us just need to stop picking up the tools. Stop, because it's for some of us, you're not even picking up the tools to really like you're just picking them up because it's out of habit. You're picking them up because it's what you are told to do or it's what you're used to doing. But again, as you're using those tools, it's feeling empty. And that's because what your soul is yearning for, what your energy is yearning for, what's really wanting to happen, what's really wanting to be expressed, is your energy is just wanting to do its own thing without being told where to be guided, if that makes sense. To me, it's feeling like a process that needs to happen with little to no tools. Just you sitting with your breath, you sitting in the seat of your own being, and just being with yourself. Nothing else. I hope that makes sense. I hope that for those of you who resonates with this week's message, that you got what you needed. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end the intuitive channeled messages here. I love you guys abundantly, and yeah, I will see you in the next video. All right, you guys, welcome to the section of the video where I will prescribe certain herbs to be used in conjunction with the astrological energies, or whatever messages were given to us intuitively in that particular part of the video. So I thought to myself, okay, like we have this solar eclipse / new moon happening in the sign of Taurus on Saturday. So it only makes sense that we work with earth magic. We work with herbs that are associated with the sign of Taurus or associated with the earth somehow. And again, if you are familiar at all with astrology, then you know that Taurus rules the second house, which is all about wealth, all about our money, all about our possessions, and as well as other things, but we're gonna focus on money in this particular video. I'm gonna make a video about this going into much more depth separately, but for the meantime, I will prescribe certain herbs that can be used this week to generate wealth, prosperity, abundance, and just kind of build your riches a little bit and attract more wealth and riches to you. So the first herb that I am going to recommend for wealth, prosperity, and money to be used this week is going to be five-finger grass or cinquefoil. Five-finger grass is an herb that I can personally vouch for in terms of money work, and personally I use mine in a money candle. However, you don't have to use it in just a candle. It can also be put in sachets, in mojo bags, baths, any of those types of things as well. It can also, you can take the whole dried leaf and hang it outside of your front door to attract wealth and prosperity into the home. Lots of different ways to use it, but cinquefoil is an amazing herb for money and it works very quickly. Cinquefoil is associated with the element of fire, and so it does have that quickness about it in terms of how quickly it's drawing the wealth and money to you. Now, this is obviously not to say that once you come into possession of five-finger grass, you're gonna hit the lottery and have all of this like Beyonce and Jay-Z money, but it works very well for money work. And if you give it the space to help grow your money, you will find that it attracts a good amount of money to you. The second herb recommendation that I have for building wealth and money is going to be sassafras. And sassafras is another herb that is great for money work. It is also associated with the element of fire. It is considered to be a masculine herb, and so again, this is another herb that will act and work very quickly on your behalf to draw money in. And you can use it to not just attract money, but not just attract money itself, but you can also use it to attract a good job. Whatever it is within the realm of money that you are wanting to improve or make more from, sassafras is an amazing herb to pair in a money working. Next herb we have is the herb of patchouli. Patchouli is very well known already. However, if you happen to come across dried patchouli, you may want to pull some aside for some money work, because patchouli is amazing. It smells like deep earth. It has a very rich, intoxicating earthy scent that is very attractive. Patchouli is associated with the earth element, so it will pair very nicely under this Taurus solar eclipse / new moon that we are going to be seeing on Saturday. Not only is patchouli wonderful for money, but it is also great for fertility work. It's also great for lust, for intimacy. So use at your own discretion, use for whatever you feel called to use it for this week. Okay, so with that being said, you guys, that is going to bring us to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I may have a little something special being uploaded on Saturday, the day of the solar eclipse / new moon. So be on the lookout for that. But otherwise, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.